Okay, so after the Arturo Gatti fight, he goes on to fight Sharmba Mitchell, Zab Judah, and Zab Judah fight was a pretty good fight. Carlos Baldomir. Then he fights Oscar De La Hoya for the WBC light middleweight title. Now, my beef with this fight is it wasn't the Oscar we wanted to see in the ring. It was the Floyd that we wanted to see, though. It was a prime and ready Floyd. Floyd looked great. De La Hoya, way past his best years, you know what I'm saying? We all like to think that De La Hoya was going to win the fight, but we knew he was slower. We knew his reaction time was not there. We knew that Oscar was eating shrimps and caviar, and it just wasn't the same Oscar. And to be honest with you, when Oscar was unleashing the jab in the fight, he had Floyd Mayweather just on stuck. He was beating Mayweather easy with the jab, but for some reason, may it be monetary, business, or whatever it was, De La Hoya put that jab away. And, you know, still to this day, De La Hoya is writing Floyd Mayweather's checks. So, you know, you never know what's going on. So anyways, that fight really didn't sit well with me. The Ricky Hatton fight, that was a great fight. Floyd, beautiful boxing. He had to get gritty in that fight. The only beef with that fight is that Ricky Hatton was a smaller fighter at the time, but like I said, you know, you can't really knock people. You want to say smaller fighters, talk at catch weights, whatever. You know, Floyd won that fight for the WBC welterweight title, but the truth of the matter is, Ricky Hatton did not have many fights at welterweight. He was not as big as Floyd and ready for that fight, although people will say, oh, you know, this, that, and the other. Floyd was more acclimated to the welterweight, you know, at that point. I mean, he already fought at light middleweight and then came back down to fight Hatton at the welterweight, while Hatton was, you know, moving up and trying to gain weight. You know, Floyd was gaining and coming down and staying, you know, right around 150, 155, 147. So I think Floyd was just the naturally stronger fighter in that fight, and they knew that, and he fought well. Great fight for Floyd. I like the Hatton fight. It's one of my favorite Floyd fights. As far as when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez, this is the fight I had a problem with. Marquez, you know what I'm saying, fought, I think his previous fight, two weight divisions below, before he fought Mayweather. Let me check this out real quick. Let me see real quick, because I am going to go ahead and research this one online, because I do think I remember he was significantly smaller than Floyd. Yeah, so it looks like in February 28th of 2009, Juan Manuel Marquez fought Juan Diaz, and that was at lightweight. Okay, lightweight. And then Juan Manuel Marquez fought on September 19th, 2009, Floyd Mayweather, and that was at welterweight. So you see, you know, come on, you know, you see right there what's going on. I mean, and a lot of thing is, Marquez is a great fighter. He's a smaller guy. My beef with this fight is, this was Mayweather's comeback fight off a long layoff, and people were just blowing it up like, oh, he beat Marquez off this long layoff. Oh my God, he just beat him so easy, and Pacquiao had all this trouble. He's definitely the greatest. I mean, you hear these guys that really don't know much about boxing just blowing it up that he beat Marquez. He's the greatest all time. Right? And I like to remind people, do you guys, I mean, if that's TBE, right? TBE. If that's TBE, then what was Sugar Ray Leonard's 5-year layoff, retirement, vision messed up in the left eye, come back to fight Hagler and win? What was that considered? I mean, if Floyd beat Marquez, it's considered, you know, something great, TBE, because that was only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights ago? If that was such a great victory, what was, I mean, if that's, you know, you consider it in TBE, what was Sugar Ray Leonard's comeback? Godly? Hell yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard's comeback was one of the most epic comebacks of all time. And if you want to talk about TBE, you need to mention Sugar Ray Leonard and that comeback against Hagler. There's no way you take 5 years off a very competitive sport. Not only that, a sport where you're getting hit, boxing, come back and fight the baddest ass motherfucker on the planet, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and look, check it out. I don't care how many people out there say, oh, Leonard lost a close fight. Look, if you go back and watch the fight, it was a close fight. Hagler was frustrated, and don't forget this, Hagler was the baddest ass motherfucker at the time, and he couldn't put Leonard away. Couldn't knock him out. You can say what you want. Leonard boxed too much. He ran. Hey, the man wasn't in the ring for 5 years. He didn't see a boxing ring for 5 years. So, hey, TBE, for all you, Floyd Mayweather nut hangers that are hanging on the nutsack, think about it. Go do your research. Anyways, next fight after that, he fought Sugar Shane Mosley. Come on. Shane Mosley over here twitching and gyrating and trying to get his punches off as if he don't know what the hell he's going to throw. That was not the same Shane Mosley. 2010, this is 10 years after he should have fought Shane. He should have fought Shane in 2000. The 2001 even. Sugar Shane Mosley. But he didn't. You know what I'm saying? Wait 10 years later. Oh, now it's safe to fight Shane. He's no threat. Let me get that name on my record. That's not TBE to me. It's still good business, and it's good. Floyd is a great fighter for fighting and be able to beat Shane, but he knew what he was doing, and so did his management. Still not TBE to me, but it's still a good win on the record. Victor Ortiz, we saw that for the WBC welterweight title. Come on, man. Come on, are you serious? That fight was really ended in a weird fashion. It really had an inconclusive ending, and everybody was upset. I remember watching that fight with friends and family, and everybody was pissed off because everyone thought it was a cheap shot. Yeah, the rule is cover yourself at all times, but even Victor Ortiz and the referee were thinking, to break in the action, and Floyd took advantage of that. Knocked out Victor Ortiz. Absolutely Victor Ortiz's fault for not keeping his hands up, but do I think it was a punk move? I think it was a punk move. I think Mayweather should have took a few more steps back, gave Ortiz the benefit of the doubt. He already looked hurt at that point, and he wasn't going to win. So you might as well just ice him out later in the fight, cleaner, and do it more with more pride. I think that knockout to me always just doesn't sit very well with me. But it was a good victory. Like I said, he beat Victor Ortiz. Good victory. After that, he fought Miguel Cotto, which was a good fight. Got to give Mayweather credit for that fight. He outboxed Cotto, outfought Cotto. Cotto was cagey. Cotto was he was good. He wasn't prime Cotto, but he was a good version. He was able to bloody up Floyd Mayweather, something that we haven't seen in a while, and that was a good victory for Floyd Mayweather. Can't knock him for that victory. After that, he fought Robert Guerrero and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, my beef with those two fights are this. Robert Guerrero hasn't really seen too many big fights. That was for the WBC welterweight titles in front of probably the biggest crowd he's ever fought in front of at the MGM Grand. And to me, I've seen a better version of Robert Guerrero in the past. It looked like he froze, but no, you can't take anything away from Floyd Mayweather. His speed, his boxing, and his defense won the day. The only thing I say is this. There was other fighters he could have fought during the time that would have been more acclimated to that situation than Robert Guerrero. He wasn't used to that limelight, and as well as the next fighter, he fought Saul Canelo Alvarez, 22 years old, a young kid, dangerous, but still a young kid, not really used to that limelight of a Floyd Mayweather fight. Now, you guys might say, oh man, you're making excuses for these guys. Well, you could say that, but think about it from their shoes. Even if you had 30, 40 fights, but you haven't fought on the extreme scale of a huge fight, how would you feel with Floyd Mayweather standing in front of you and throwing punches? Just tell me how y'all would feel in the comment section. Do you get butterflies? Do you get a little nervous? Or do you not get nervous at all? For all the tough guys that are going to leave comments saying, oh, I wouldn't have got nervous. Tell me how you really feel, 22 years old. Saul Canelo Alvarez, I believe, was not ready for that limelight either. I think that those were two fights that they knew that they can get these guys in the ring and get them nervous. Not only that, outthink them and outsmart them under the situations. And, to be honest with you, the Alvarez fight, man, I'm not going to say it was fixed at all, but this is the first time I've seen Alvarez throw a lot of punches to the chest and the arms. To me, it didn't really look like he was trying to hurt Mayweather in that fight. Although he couldn't catch him, we've seen him a lot more grittier and a lot more cagey and a lot more mobile. You know what I mean? I think Canelo could have did a little bit. I don't know. That fight doesn't really sit well with me either, being that it's Golden Boy. And like I said, Golden Boy and Mayweather, I believe at the end of the day, under the table, fuck with each other on some cool shit. So you never know when big money's involved what's really going down.